to build like I said, I'm gonna start off with what I first told everybody. How do we keep, like you say, any type of building amongst brothers and sisters from being infiltrated from an outside source, person, organization? How do we keep whatever we try to do pure and in order to the point where it doesn't rise up as a Black Panthers did? And get torn down from the police from the inside, just like Marcus Garvey, everyone, Fred Hampton, all of these was infiltrated. Yeah, Hebrews of the day, RBG, and like you say, the Moors. We got people talking about dirty Moors and things of that nature. So how do we avoid getting infiltrated? Now, I'm gonna start off with Brother Divine, then I will let somebody else go after that. At least two solutions. If you want me to start it off, kind of give you a better idea, I can, but go ahead.
Can y'all hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Islam. Okay.
Islam, bro.
Islam. You stop infiltration by I got about 3 ways. You know, of course, a lie detector test. Then 2, spiritually, and then 3, the females. The females gonna lay down the law and the justice. You know what I'm saying? That's basically it. You know.
All right, go over them.
That's basically it.
Cause I like it. Go over them 3 again. You said female.
Okay. You got the females. The females bring in the sons for the nation. You see, so by them bringing in humanity or teaching the young what they must know, it's kind of hard for an outside source above 18 to infiltrate because, you know, really over here in North America, ain't nobody under 17 finna infiltrate nothing. You see what I'm saying? You're not even finna be in that kind of realm of political movement. You get what I mean? Then you have a lie detector test, if I'm not sure if we can get a polygraphy test or whatnot. And plus, you do have the ADAPT chamber, just like our body we have here. You have a body, you have well, I'm going into more science, actually, when I speak on that, but I just wanted to answer the question. So that was the question right there. I answered it.
All right, I'm just trying, because I'm writing this down, actually. It was female lie detector test, and what was the other one?
Spiritually, you have an infinite, when you operate above the 7th chakra, and you start going into the 9th and the 12th chakra, then you can start, you can start like looking at or foretelling certain aspects of physical life as we know it. But and the 3rd way is humanity through the youth, the childbearing, the 9 months, the teaching in the womb, all of that. You know, the 13 cycles of the moon, dealing with the cycle of a woman, pure blood, and the rituals that they do. That goes into the ADAPT chamber of Ephi, you know, and they practice through dealings with the elements of Oya, and Ogun, Oshun, etc. And those certain spiritual aspects that they call up brings about a alchemical effect within the universe, dealing with 1.618, which is phi, PHI. Phi and pi being 3.14, and phi being 1.618. When you go to the periodic table, that's the formula to building the perfect man. And you go to the periodic table, you look up 6, 1, and 8, which still come down to 15 cents. So as a traveling man, I do have change for 15 cents all day.
All right. No, yeah, that makes sense, and it should give somebody, the opportunity to try to go look that information up on their own. So we did get another call, 631909. Just introduce yourself, and I'm gonna let you know the topic. It might have hit mute. Or it might just be listening in. But
let me see that number. What number was that?
It's 631949.
6. Give me a second.
That might be Alfredo. That might be Alfredo out of Texas.
Jennifer Morgan.
Oh yeah, okay, I know. Yeah, I bought for her.
Yeah, that's just.
All right. Well, peace to her. But just to catch up, dealing with how to stop organizations from being infiltrated, such as the Panther, Marcus Garvey, and all these other movements. Shine, you want to go in?
Did you say who did you call?
Shashin Bay.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that the first thing we would have to do is go to history. Because as one knows, one does not know where they're going until they know where they've come from. If we look at the ancient empires, the ancient African empires, these empires were not successful unless they had loyalty amongst the ranks. And from my studies, I find that initiation is one tool to be used, but it has to be in an order. The first thing that a person needs to know is law, principles of law. And one of the main principles of law that each potential comrade would have to know is the law of contract. Law of contract is this: offer, consideration, and acceptance. Now, I'm not going to go deep into that, but I'm just going down the list. That's the first thing, okay, that depicts, that would lead into a person being initiated into the ranks. The second thing would be a person would constantly have to be tested. A person's loyalty will constantly have to be tested in secret.
Indeed.
In secret. They would have to be tested by the members, and only certain members would know what that test was. Infiltration not only comes from the outside in, but sometimes when a person is already in, they may be offered a sweet deal from someone on the outside to become a spy or to become a person that would give out information as to what's going on in the group. And so that's the reason for the constant testing of the loyalty. I find that if you don't know, okay, law is like this. When you understand law and you take an oath to abide by something, you would understand that oath is in good faith. In other words, when you accept an agreement, law teaches you that your agreement is not only tied to man, but it's tied to the universe. And a person would have to know that if they break that agreement, that there's going to be consequences. They would have to know this. Okay, and then if someone was to defy this, then that's when the constant testing of different individuals comes into play. Because we know that there's a chance that someone may actually defy this. Now, that's talking about during times when there was no technology, cell phones, etc. I mean, you got people going in the movies, recording movies, and doping out the movies and selling bootleg tapes, but they know they're not supposed to do it. You got people going in stores stealing. They know they're supposed to pay. So there's, people know right from wrong, but it goes to another level when you understand law and how it ties into the universe and how law ties into nature and you being a part of nature, how you actually upset certain things in the universe when you breach contract. And so a person would have to first understand these types of things. Then if that person were to go outside of those principles, now there would be sincere and serious consequences behind it. Because remember now, the saying is, people have said, if you don't know, okay, this is how the law works. If you don't know a thing and you do a thing that's wrong, this law says that, I forget how it goes, something about the law is no excuse. Ignorance of the law. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. That's what's being said. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. When in fact, ignorance of the law is an excuse to a certain degree.
Indeed.
Okay, so now,
Indeed.
and so now, what has happened is we have a society of people who basically, now that goes both ways. Ignorance of the law is no excuse in some circumstances. For example, the law of gravity. If you make a mistake and ignorantly step off a cliff in the dark, you still ain't gonna have no excuse because you falling. Because the law of gravity gonna take you down. So there's no recourse behind that. And that's a principle that goes in a lot of different areas. You mess around and make some mistakes are irreversible, and they are ignorant mistakes. But we're not talking about those kind of mistakes when we're talking about infiltration. We're talking about willful espionage, willful treason, knowing that you are basically clandestine on the other side, etc., and not being loyal to your comrades and constituents. So this is where the law comes in and brings about a sort of seriousness to your consequences when you do a willful act of unloyalty. But now infiltration in this day and time, it's almost impossible in my estimation. It's almost impossible to stop that unless you constantly testing the loyalty of the members, and unless you constantly bringing forth law, and you constantly in communication. Okay, and so now these are the things that I see. I mean, that's just about the best I could do with that.
All right, no, that's some good information. Like I said, I'm writing a lot of this down. I'm gonna let the Queen Leo bring out her information.
Okay, I had my phone on mute. I really don't have too much to say. I can't say that I agree with Brother Divine and Brother Shimbe right now. But I do agree with what he said whenever it can be from the outside and it can also be from the inside as well. And the test of loyalty, that would be a great idea. And that's basically all I have to say on it right now.
All right, like I said, all good information. I'm gonna save my piece because I agree with you, Shinbei. It's almost near to impossible, but it's got to be possible some type of way, because as we see, no organization has ever been able to survive infiltration. So if we're gonna make it happen, we got to figure that out. So my first thing that I've noticed, like you say, study history. You don't know the mistakes made in your past, you're doomed to make them again. So one of the things the organizations did, like I said, when we were studying, as like I talked about a little earlier off recording, is just basing membership off of phenotype, appearance, skin color. I think those days are over. You're not just going to be able to, when we really get going, I would say this to any organization, when you really get going, do not just base your membership off of phenotype. It's like you say, some of this is what y'all already said. Constant testing. I like that. You got to continue to test people. Now, I haven't thought of really ways to actually test people, but that's one thing we eventually would have to figure out. So when we deal with history and studying mistakes, and this is kind of going to my number 2 reason, let's look about the size of the organization. Like you say, when you statewide and you have this 2, 3, 4,000 membership, and we know Marcus Garvey got into 1 million, maybe around about 1 million. So, and it just makes it so much easier. So I think we got to keep a tight circle. I don't know if it needs to be only 800, because we're going to go into, like you say, a little bit of Bible knowledge. It say many are called, but few are chosen. I think it's far-fetched to have this understanding that everybody going to jump on board. Everybody going to get with the program. I think it's time for us to start facing the reality almost, that, hey, we can still drop knowledge on people, but when it comes to that true bill, we need to just work with, and I'm just going to throw out random numbers, maybe just 500, maybe just 100. I'm more of a fan of, I would probably propose you get you 50 strong people, even if you spread it out wide. Man, some things you can do. I ain't got my calculator, because I want to find out if anybody, get your phone, do 50 times 50. Let's say if we had 50 people, give $50 a month. I just want to see what that comes up to. But, yeah, so keep the number small. So history, keep the number small, and 2. Well, this is going to my 3. We need to start. All right, my wife just told me that's 2,500. That will be a month. So let's say $2,500 a month, you can do some things. I will cut that number in half. Let's say 50 people give 25. So that'll bring you to what? $1,250 a month. 50 people, you can build. So, and I'm gonna get into my third one. Like I said, history, and just not just going on phenotype. I think we need to start doing background checks. We need to know who is around us. For instance, like my cousin, he ain't here. And this is kind of going into other thing I'll say. With background check, we're going to also need somebody to certify you. Somebody got to stamp on you and say, hey. And this is my mindset. Because one thing about infiltration, like I say, I come from being a drug dealer. So I hate to say I think like one still. So to avoid infiltration in the drug game, aka the police coming in, somebody who I trust got to put a stamp on you before we even deal in any type of way. And it actually made me successful. So we got to have background check, aka somebody must certify you. We need to know who is around us. We just can't have people who we just feel like, I really don't know him like that. Anybody know him? If I go to looking at Brother Divine and she and Bam like, yo, who man is it? And he like, shoot, I don't really know. And Queen like, well, I don't really know him either. Then we might have a problem. So that's why these are some of the things I believe, like the history, aka keep your number small, background check, and like you say, have somebody to certify you. Somebody must put, somebody like, I'm dealing with Brother Divine now because of she and they called me and certified him. And it probably went the other way around. So these are my opinions on how to avoid this. Keep like I said. So if anybody want to come off of anything I said, or want to elaborate or add more, please go ahead. You gotta unmute your phone, Chamaria. Unmute your phone. You might have to take it off that speaker.
Can y'all hear me now?
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah, just wanted to speak on that note about infiltration, and it's real important. I think to discuss this, but also to understand, like right off the bat, when you discuss something like infiltration, it's kind of like we can't really even trust each other. So that's something I feel like we need to get away from, because at the end of the day, like infiltration, you say you love, you kind of learned that out of the street game, and that when you really analyze it, the street is where our people are the most divided. So maybe we need to look at more of what we should do if we get infiltrated, not on how to avoid it. Because at this point, we in their country right now, we on their phone. They can hear everything we say. How can we stop them from paying anybody, even in our own community, to listen in, to, be there to infiltrate? So I think it comes with real brotherhood, real love for one another. If we willing to die for this, then we should be willing, that's what happens when you get infiltrated. If we was all willing to die for each other, there's no such thing as infiltration. Because, you know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion.
All right. You actually just brought me back to another thing I was going to say. And that's what I left out. Like you say, we are on the internet. On our cell phone. Another thing I was going to say, the real building must be done at least via mail. We got to get back to writing and postcards. That is, I think, the only way we can avoid the internet infiltration, like she said. If we do that, I believe that's powerful because we know that mail hit the box. I don't think people are ripping open mail, reading it, and putting it back. That is one way. The real serious bill we can hear and discuss plans like we're doing, but the real bill might have to be in writing, in paper. If anybody got something to elaborate on what she said, I said, please go ahead.
I like the idea of the life or death, because that does test a person's loyalty. And if you're willing to die for what you believe in, then that says a lot about a person, in my opinion.
All right. Anybody else want to say something?
Oh yeah, of course. That's the thing. See, that's what we gotta realize, that we on our land. See, we can't be sovereign on nobody else's land. So, you know, this is our country, and that's the thing that Drew Ali was bringing to us, that they were 10,000 miles away from their home. So it ain't nothing that they can tell us. That's first. But two, you stop infiltration just by the penalty of death. For real, Howard Johnson Bay had told Father Muhammad to stop wearing his fez. If you look at the pictures on the internet, you'll see Father Muhammad with a fez on, with the crescent moon. Howard Johnson Bay was ordered by Drew Ali to tell that brother to cease wearing his fez, and he had to downgrade. That's where the Nation of Islam come from. So I was already, Howard Johnson Bay was actually putting in work for the Moorish Science Temple. Actually, they trustees, so he was actually murdering the officers, just to be honest with you. And they had locked up the prophet, and he told them to leave the prophet alone, so he did turn himself in. But everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but you can't be sovereign and be mastered under somebody else. That's chapter 29, master and servant. So in order to be a good master, you have to be a good student. And you can only know in certain situations when certain aspects should occur, or when to be the bigger person, or how to be wiser, or how to let karma take its place. You have to think with an infinite mind and not worry about the carnal things in life. But what we have to realize is that love for one another should be the obligation of the order. So once somebody come out of the realm of respect, then you would know that that they are imperfected, or the attitude. Once you add up all the letters of attitude, it equals 100. Okay, 100% is 360 degrees. So you're not complete if your attitude or your character is not even on point. That refers to your action, your behavior, and your attitude. So you're accountable for what you say and do. So when Jesus or Yahshua said he was going to do something, he did it. You see, and that's the only test there is, the test of the spirit. You see what I'm saying? Ain't no other test it is, you know what I mean? It's just the test of the spirit. And you should know the spirit, because the spirit will tell you who he is. You're going to hear that spirit. It's wrong.
Can everybody hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Inner circle and outer circle.
Indeed.
Now, in ancient times, and I'm gonna go to the Bible, for principle's sake. During the time of Moses, there were certain people in his inner circle. You don't let the masses don't get the same information in other words, the outer circle don't get the same, or the what we call, some say it's the adopt chamber. Some may call it the inner circle. But there's going to be some information that's not going to be told to the outer circle.
Exactly.
In certain instances, just to keep the ranks in order, basically. And another thing, there was, I don't know if, I'm out of the Bible now. I'm talking about now a code system. For example, I was looking at this movie, American Gangster, and he had all his family members to come from the South up to New York to be a part of his establishment. Well, it turns out that I think one of his family members slipped up some kind of way and caused some problems for him to be able to do what he end up in trouble or something like that. But my point is this: you mentioned phenotype, and the time for looking at phenotype is over. That may very well be true. But at the same time, you know, it's a touchy thing, really, because then when you start getting into science, I mean, you can have some people black as this tar out here to infiltrate, and then you might have somebody that's, you know, stringy haired and light skinned, almost of European descent, or if not European descent, that would be more loyal than the next. How likely is that? I mean, very likely. I mean, you had some of the sons of Europe die. Matter of fact, the first slave revolt, I believe, came from a man of European descent. I believe his name was Johnson or something of that nature. Him and his sons went in the barracks and stole the guns, and the people that they had to mainly fight against was the people that they was trying to free. Because again, the attitude, like the brother just said, the attitude wasn't right. But now I want to also talk about rules and also codes. The brothers mentioned writing letters and things of that nature. When I looked at I don't know how old people are on this line, but back in the days, back in the 70s, they had something called, I believe it was called Bolito. In other words, writing numbers. And, a person would come around and get your number, and you would put 50 cents on it or $1 or whatever. And this was a form of lottery, like a ghetto lottery. And if you hit the number, you got paid. There was no law enforcement to make them people pay you. It was just a loyalty that if you hit the number, you got paid. If you didn't hit the number and you lied, you didn't get paid. Well, the person that had the numbers would. There was one person that gave out the numbers, and nobody knew what that number was except the person that was. Well, I don't even know if the person giving out the slips knew the number, but the inner circle knew the number, and those that played the numbers, they didn't know the number. They even working for the man, they didn't know the number. They didn't know that the number didn't come when the number came out. Then that day the number came out. Nobody knew that number. I'm saying that to say a principle. The principle is sometimes you gotta have codes. Sometimes you gotta develop a code of language for your inner circle that your outer circle don't know nothing about. And then as individuals from the outer circle prove themselves to be invited into the inner circle, it has to be some kind of initiation. There has to be some kind of test of loyalty, etc., etc., etc. And all of these types of for lack of better terms, all these types of systems have to be implemented in the organization and constantly. It has to be a constant thing. And thirdly and last, in the inner circle is my belief that things that are said can only be said face to face, not in a letter, not on the phone, only from mouth to ear, person to person. And this is one way that and then again, you got a lot of technology now. You got people with technology that they can point a microphone in your direction and actually hear what you're saying. I mean, again, it's almost impossible, but it can be done, but it's with great scrutiny. Great scrutiny.
All right, no, that was nice information, man. I might add a little bit more to that, but if anybody else wanna say something to it, I'll say something. Like you said, I want to kind of touch upon the code and the rules, but I'm gonna just deal with what you just said. Like I say, ear to ear. Like Brother Divine vouched that I can definitely go for ear to ear. Now, the only way I kind of can picture that, like you say, if we build towards, let's say, first thing we need to establish is land. That way, the builders, the main people, as you talk about this inner circle, can at least, if you have 3 acres, and let's say if you got this group, we can have a place, headquarters. Even if you build one big building for everybody to sleep there, that way we can actually get down to business. It ain't got to be no apartment complex. It can whatever we need to do to be able for everybody who's in the inner circle to meet up and really speak in private. Say that's great thing. Ear to ear might be the only way to really keep it going. And like you say, having a language barrier between the inner circle and outer circle. They're all good stuff. And this is why we're having this conversation. When you talked about rules and codes, that'd be definitely something we would have to map out. We can touch upon it a little bit here. We can kind of all add 1 or 2 rules that we would definitely seem fit that will be a must if people are going to build. Like you say, 1 can automatically, let's say if we had a constitution. It doesn't matter how many laws we have on it, but we got this. Let's just keep it basic. Let's say if we had 10 main ones, we'll probably have loyalty. I definitely see this as almost the key. Loyalty would probably have to be number 1. Let me see if I can find, and this is just coming fresh, that's why I have it, but it would definitely be the basic, not to mean to say it like the Bible, but thou shalt not steal or kill, amongst, rob each other. Like I say, bearing false witness, even if we have a, like you say, a code of ethics, like I say, I'm more of into the Bible, where you gotta have 2 or 3 witnesses. So it's definitely some rules that we gotta establish. I'm gonna let y'all go and try to set some rules in that can possibly, help us. Like I say, get things in order. Divine, so you want to add some rules? Go ahead, man.
Oh, the only rules I go by is the Constitution and bylaws of the Circle 7. Everything you just said has already been set up by the prophet. The Moral Science Temple of America, Divine Constitution and bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the Chairman of the Moral Science Temple of America is empowered to make laws and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moral Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs and live accordingly to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known before the members of the Moral Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday the first man was formed in the flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on the occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws. Y'all got that? Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being Moorish American, you are part and partial of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, see, that's the inner circle right there. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and divine creed, that they may know that they are part and partial of the said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era in time now, and all men must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which we live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become part and partial of the uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name faithful. Husbands must support your wives and children. Wives must obey your husbands and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This this divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God, Allah, Islam. That's the Constitution.
If you want to continue or if you pass, and I'm going to let somebody else, Shin Bay of the system.
Alright, nah, it's straight. See, in the act, it says that once you pay your dues, etc., then you are entitled to the name faithful. If we come together right now and say, okay, if everybody can pay their dues for the next 6 months, or the next year, or the next 2 years, then we can issue out a nationality card to where now we are a board of trustees under a nation, which means that now we can go to the Secretary of State as a nation state or a theocratic government, which puts us on a whole greater scale than just getting numbers. It's about the quality, not the quantity. You see what I'm saying? We only need 7, to be honest, to pull this off. But you stop the infiltration when people learn who they are. You got to know thyself, and then you got to know that you and Allah are one. You feel me? That's why we teaching the people that money is not money. They got to know what the Constitution is. They got to know what the government is. They got to know what the House Joint Resolution. You know, they got to know about slavery. You know, I mean, it's a lot with that. You know, so it's you stop infiltration by teaching the man all he needs to know, because it's your own universe. And if we get the system back going again, if we follow the prophet and bring up our schools, if we had a temple, a lot of things would come out so much easier for us to where we can take $17 and get an ounce of silver and actually buy the building and the land with real money, not monopoly money. So that's the big difference in the whole ordeal, because then we'll get a load of your title to the estate, and then we would be the actual title holders over the land. But while all again, we already got a 1010-5905 that's on file with the Secretary of State in Illinois as a religious corporation since 1928. That was already in effect with a profit and an organization, a corporate organization / theocratic government or religious corporation, which means if we get those keys, or if we come together to find trustworthiness to the spirit, then those keys will be furthermore dropped to you all. But I mean, yeah, that's all I gotta say. Islam. Peace.
Alright, sister, you can go ahead and if you want to say something.
Oh,
like,
no, I'm listening.
deal with, if you remember, like, say, set of rules we need to probably apply.
Oh, no, I'm listening right now. I'm good.
Alright. Shin Bay, you got something to say?
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
I had to actually, my headset, my headset calmed down on me. I hope I'm still able to be heard. But anyway, also, you know, when you're having any type of organization, when people trying to come together, there has to be a common goal. Okay, a common goal. In other words, individuals have to be interested in that goal. And that brings on motivation to do anything, to even move on anything. And one of the rules I would say, matter of fact, I think even in the Moore Science Temple, it talks about religion, and that religion, whether you will be a Christian, whether you will be a Muslim, whether you will be, it didn't matter what it was. I think that you know, it didn't matter because it had nothing to do with religion. It had to do with a common a common goal as far as moving a people in one direction. And I believe that the whole purpose that we even on this conference call is I think that everyone would agree that there's a problem in our society, and that I think that each and every one of us would agree that we have a passion to try and fix something, about it. And I think we also would agree that one of the main problems in fixing anything in this particular society, we live in a commercial society. In order to fix anything in this society, there's going to be some finance involved. The other thing I would like to say is, when we talk about characters, various characters of different people, all of us are different in some way or the other. And, I'm going to see how I can put this. I don't know if anybody's ever ran into somebody that for some reason they just didn't have, it's not that they didn't like the person, it's just that they just didn't like, I don't know how to put it.
The aura was off.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, with the aura, are you trying to say like aura?
Yes, thank you.
They say all the right things, but they vibe that they give off is just off.
Or something of that nature, right? In other words, it's not that the person did anything to them. It's not that, as a matter of fact, they might not even know the person, but upon either hearing the person talk or being around the person, the person might have a different way of saying things, and it might rub them wrong a little bit, or something that they do. Those type of things right there are gonna have to be dealt with as well, because what happens is the goal or the motivation that the group is moving on has to weigh in the minds of the people way more than those little personal feelings. Mm-hmm. And each individual has to realize that. You don't like the a person might not like the way another person's. This is just an example. They might not like their hair, or they might not like their whatever. The goal of it, you have to. Each person has to know that they're bigger fish to fry. And that the problems that we're trying to solve is way greater than the trivial things. And I find that these are the type of problems. There's an old saying in the Bible. It says, it's the small fox that spoils the vine. And so what happens is, sometimes people start concentrating on small things, or worrying about small things too much. But then it becomes a big problem. It becomes a big problem. It causes disloyalty. It causes dislike, and it causes causes a bad vibe, we have to know that the fish that we're trying to fry is greater than that. It's outweighing all those small things like that. And so we have to set some kind of goal. There has to be a goal set. And each individual has to have a personal basically a personal I don't know the word to say, but you just have to be really, really motivated to get this thing done. Whatever it is that the group is trying to do, each person has to be very, very motivated. And they have to have a well made up mind to get the thing done. And it's a personal thing. You have to overlook a lot of things when you're dealing with various individuals. You have to overlook a lot of stuff and just look at the big picture, you know. And I just want to point that out.
All right, brother, man. Some more good information. I'm going to piggyback once again. I'm going to build with you on what you said, because, man.
Man.
You said, yeah, this man here, boy, be going.